So, explain to us the bare bones of this project.
So there's a cat named Nibs. I call him Mr. Nibs.
Okay.
He lives in the neighborhood. He's like a neighborhood mascot kind of thing. Everybody knows Nibs. Everybody knows Nibs if you live in the neighborhood.
Well, Nibs means something.
So tell me about what's the Nibs?
Well, Nibs. You want me to tell you what Nibs represents, or what about Nibs?
Tell me what Nibs is, and then what Nibs represents.
Nibs isn't a thing. Nibs is an entity.
Uh-huh.
Nibs is a cat.
Oh.
Well, he lives in the Fremont neighborhood, and we've seen him. We've stumbled across Nibs on several occasions. He just keeps reappearing.
So what do you define like as the neighborhood? Like what are you thinking?
Just what they call like Upper Fremont.
On Fremont Avenue North, between 40th and 45th.
Yeah, he gets around. Wow. But mostly I've seen him, I guess I've seen him like mostly on Fremont Ave, and I think he hangs out on the busier part of the street because he gets more like attention. Wow. You can see people. Because mostly I've seen him on Fremont Ave in between my house and like, I don't know, say like 44th or 45th.
Yeah, Nibs will show up and when Nibs appears, you instantly feel like you're at home. Like he is like the essence of the neighborhood.
I think he's just like a super chill, like friendly cat, and I think he's like a free spirit and like a wanderer, and he's just like, yeah, maybe my owner doesn't care that much about me, whatever, he puts me out when he goes to work, but I've had my adventures and I meet my people.
He's kind of big, but he's not like obese. Not morbidly obese. Okay. He's like, I'd say he's like how much do you think Nibs weighs?
What's
20 pounds?
No.
18 pounds?
No.
Well, he's like he looks like he's not an outdoor cat normally, but he's been outdoors for a long time. He's got some girth.
Mm-hmm. What color?
He's like an orangish red hair. He's like a ginger cat.
Like Nibs is the kind of cat that you meet and he just rolls over in the dirt. He's that kind of guy.
Ready for you to pet his belly?
Yeah, ready for you to pet him.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
So these are for finding Nibs. These are for taping them to the van while we look for Nibs so that people know that we're looking for Nibs.
Tell me about the first time you met Nibs.
I think it was with Josh, and I think it was winter time, and we were walking down the hill. It was late. And
we were somewhat under the influence, perhaps somewhat described as intoxicated or inebriated. An okay word. Anyways, so we were walking
on Special K.
We were walking back down. Yeah, we were walking back down here.
And this cat was just like following us, this orange cat, and he was really super friendly. And we kept, waiting for him to, walk off and go to his house, and he wanted to chill. He would stay like 3 feet behind us.
And then that entity that was accompanying us started like nuzzling up against our shins, and it turns out it was a cat, and it was orange, and it was big, and it was friendly, and it wanted love, and so we obliged, and we said, hello, why are you following us? And he didn't respond because it's a cat.
And so we petted him, we hung out with him, and he had a collar, and he looked healthy and everything.
And then finally, I think Kara, looked at his collar to see what his name was, and his name was Nibs.
I don't know, I decided to call him Mr. Nibs.
Because he seemed to deserve a mister?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He seemed like, kind of like a gentleman.
And so we said, hello, Nibs, nice to meet you. And then he actually spoke. He said, it's very nice to meet you. This is the first time I've ever spoken.
Right, but you guys were on ketamine. You were on ketamine when this happened, so. And you have seen him several times since then?
Yeah, you see him you see him all over the neighborhood, and you see him interacting with different people in the neighborhood.
I heard.
Yeah, I was on my way to work.
No, this is how Kara drives. I don't know. You've been in the car with Kara?
No, it isn't.
She's the wheels, she's 10-2, and she's like...
And I look to my right.
And then she's looking out the side windows, not straight ahead, but the side to side, where's Nibs?
And and there was Nibs. He was in a tree. Nibs was in a tree.
I guess one time Kara saw him in a tree, not a big tree. I found out later, but when I first heard it, it sounded like he was up high in an epic 40-foot tree, and there was firefighters and emergency crews.
And it wasn't a tall tree. It was maybe a 7 or 8 foot tree with pretty sturdy limbs. And
Turns out it was a 4-foot shrub, and then people were like, "Nibs, why are you in the tree?"
And he was out on one of the limbs, and there was some dude not his owner, just some dude trying to get him out of the tree, coaxing him out of the tree. And Nibs was on this one little branch, just shaking, trying not to fall off, but also he was responding to the guy. He knew that he was supposed to get out of the tree.
Yeah, so that's an example of how obsessed with Nibs the whole neighborhood is.
Right. It's very representative, I think, of how the people of this 5-block stretch feel about Nibs.
Anyway, this guy had stopped to help him, and then, at the same time that I stopped, some other random woman stopped to, join in on the getting Nibs out of the tree plan. And,
were you part of this plan?
I wasn't. I literally just stopped my car just to, look and laugh and be like, it's Mr. Nibs!
But Nibs wanted to stay in the tree, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like he felt pressured to come out because this guy was like, you need to get out of the tree.
So we're not trying to put them up, we're not putting those pictures up.
No, this is inspiration for finding Nibs. This is the inspiration.
Just inspiration for us, not for the entire neighborhood.
We saw Nibs. Last time we saw Nibs, we were at Hunger, which is a neighborhood pub up the street.
Yeah.
And we didn't notice he was in there, but then we turned around and we saw people throwing Nibs out the door. Well, they were throwing a cat out the door, and it was orange, and we were and then it took a while to register, and it was wait a second, was that Nibs? That was Nibs.
I heard you saw him get 86'd from a bar.
I don't know what he did, but yeah, he got thrown out of that bar. I don't know how he got in, but all of a sudden you turn around and you see a cat getting thrown out of a bar. That's not something you see every day.
And did you talk to the bartender who threw him out?
Yeah, well, it wasn't the bartender that threw him out. Actually, it was just these random women that were in the bar that apparently had decided that they didn't want this cat in the bar, which is judgmental of them, I think. If I had found Nibs in the bar, I'd be like, Nibs, what, you want a beer? Come sit by me.
So this documentary is about a project that you guys are embarking on. Tell me what the project is. Tell me about this project.
So, the phrase, "it takes a village to raise a Nibs," almost seems like it lends itself to a do your part style call to action.
So tell me what your goal is with this project.
I just want to bring some awareness. I feel like there's already an unspoken awareness in the community about Nibs. I see people interacting with him. I see people taking care of him. And I feel like for Fremont, he's an important part of it. And I just want to pay tribute to that. He deserves credit for this.
The neighborhood already knows. So it's really just reinforcing that we know that you know. We're your neighbors, and we share this communal knowledge and familiarity with our friend Nibs.
The plan is to first find Nibs, which was what we were supposed to do today, but it was raining. We didn't leave the house. But find Nibs and get a good photo of his face. So that we can blow it up and put it on a poster or some stickers, Well, if we tape it to the van, then they'll at least know what we're doing, and then they can look for Nibs too.
Well, but they're not weatherproof.
Well, it's not really that hard.
No, they'll be toast in 15 seconds.
So we do a 5-minute ride around the block.
Until the pictures melt, then we tape to the van.
Until the pictures melt, and then we eat pizza. yeah,
public art?
Yeah, there's tons of like weird posters that you see all over Fremont, absolutely, and strange stuff that's purely art. It's not an advertisement, it's just art. You know, it's just someone like, oh, I had this good idea, I'm gonna stick it on a telephone pole, like every telephone pole in Fremont, you know. You see it all the time. I think we're safe here.
And the people who see it, who would recognize what it represents, what do you hope the effect would be?
But see, I think that's the cool thing about this project is that like a lot of the art that you see on those telephone poles, it's like, oh, that's art, that's interesting, but like that's as much as you can connect to it. But everyone in the Fremont area that sees it is gonna be like, it's Nibs! Like, I know Nibs! Like, yes, it does take a village to raise a Nibs, you know? And they'd be like, yeah, I remember that time. You know, they'll all have some story, and I want them.
You don't want them to feel pitied at all.
Yeah, I don't want to feel pitied. I just want everybody to acknowledge how we all, as a community, take care of him. So
you'd hope that he appreciates that it's strengthening the community.
I would hope so. Like maybe he doesn't realize.
Nice.
He probably doesn't. Like he probably just goes on Valentine's Day and he's like, oh hey, there's that girl that lives in the blue house. Like there's that guy that tried to get me under the tree. Like, you know, he probably doesn't realize that we all share this thing and it's him. You know.
Nice.
He probably doesn't know that. So it might be good.
You're awakening him to his hub status.
Yeah, his power.
I'm Nibs, you're Nibs, we're all Nibs. In harmony and in unison.
You have power, Mr. Nibs.
I think that's a good ending. I like that. That's perfect. Well done, Kira.